Okay, so we're gonna talk about the Aaliyah album coming out, and all the hoopla, drama, and everything surrounding it. You guys know as best as anybody know, I am a huge Aaliyah fan. Hence the hair. Y'all know I love her. And some of y'all say I look like her. That's not true. I wish, but that's not true. But yeah, I'm a really huge fan. I've been a huge fan since I was a little boy, and you know, us gays, we love our divas, and she's always been one of my favorites. They had released a new song called Enough Said featuring Drake. I like the song minus his part. And people wanted to know what my opinion on the whole situation was. There's a lot I have to say, and a lot of it is not going to be nice. So if you are a Drake fan, I would suggest that you turn this video off, because this may not be for you. And don't get me wrong, I have nothing personally against Drake. I really don't. I don't know the man. You guys know I met him one time. Well, actually several times. But when I met him, he was not Drake. He was still Aubrey Graham when I met him. So his attitude versus how he is now is completely different. Aaliyah's family is not in support of this album. FYI, for those who are watching or are not familiar with this situation and don't know. Yeah, her family is not happy about the situation, but unfortunately, her uncle, Barry Hankerson, has control over her masters and things of that nature. So, unfortunately, you know, her legacy is kind of being tainted by people being greedy for money. You know, and I believe her uncle is one of those people. You know, and people are saying, oh, it's been 12 years. Her family shouldn't still be grieving. It's just like a lot. And this is coming from some Aaliyah fans. And it's just like, I don't know if you ever lost a family member or lost somebody that you love or lost a brother or a sister or whoever the situation is. You got to understand, sometimes people will die grieving for someone. They will go through something, you know. Some people come out of it and be okay about it and feel like they're in a better place. But her mother is never going to get over the fact that she lost her one and only daughter. She's never going to get over that. And people need to be very sensitive to this subject. Because if it was you and if it was your family and if it was your brother, you would want people to feel you too. But since it's not you and you're not in that situation, the only thing that you care about as a fan is the music. You want to, you know, and I heard people say, you know, baby girl is slaying from heaven and she's letting all your favorites have it and she's going to have a new album before this person and she's going to kill this person and she's going to do this and she's going to do that. And it's like, people who came from that era where she came out, Brandy, Monica, Immature, all these people from the 90s, it wasn't about chart positions. It wasn't about slaying somebody. It was about none of that, because in those days, people sold music. They were doing 10 million copies, 8 million copies. So selling records was not a problem. So it was never needed to be talked about. The new fans that come in, and I call them fake Aaliyah fans because a lot of these people became fans of her after she passed away. Some of y'all became fans as of when that song Enough Said came out. So, and I'm not saying because you came after the fact that she was gone that you're less of a fan. That's not fair to say, and I'm not going to say that. What I'm saying is your position on what music is and how Aaliyah expressed herself as an individual and an artist is not on kilter to who she was and the fan base that she created before she passed away is what I'm saying. We as fans, as far as I'm concerned, never cared about that stuff. And if there is never another Aaliyah album to come out, I would be okay with that as an individual, because I understand how people operate, and I understand losing someone recently that was very close to me is another reason why I took a break from YouTube as well, because of the simple fact that you don't get over someone leaving you that you're never going to see again. It's not that easy. So let it be 12 years, let it be 24 years. It don't matter. You have to respect not only her family, but really the woman who birthed her, which is her mother, Diane. You have to do that. As well as her brother, Rashad, her father. You know, these are people who are around her. Missy, Timbaland, these are people who are around her so much. And when I heard that Timbaland and Missy may or may not be part of the album. I was just like, what? Like, it's not gonna be right without. That's like putting out a Janet greatest hits album, or Janet, Lord forbid, pass away, but you know, they don't use Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. That's just don't work. You know, it's just, they have some magic to them. As much as I'm not a fan of Brandy and Rodney Jerkins anymore, Never Say Never and Full Moon are two of her best albums to date. And you know, if they never work together again, that's fine. But I have to give Rodney his credit for that, because he gave Brandy a sound that was unparalleled to anyone else when they had those errors. And now Brandy right now is different, but that's beside the point. Brandy, I love you. She followed me on Twitter, by the way. Shout out to her. But a lot of the Aaliyah fans were saying, well, Missy and Timbaland didn't make Aaliyah, and she really didn't work with them that much on her last album. But if you listen to the song Loose Rap, she does talk about her team. She talks about her crew, Timbaland, Static, Missy. She talks about these people that she grew up with pretty much. She was the youngest one out of everyone. And these were people that they wasn't just people that she had in her life just to have them in her life. These were people that she was very close to, that she had a strong bond to. So for them not to be part of that, that doesn't work. That's like, Lord forbid something happens to me and Sir Will comes on here with a bitch who ain't got nothing to do with me, and y'all in my video in my house talking about some content that I said once before. I wouldn't be okay with that, because I never met this person a day in my life. I don't know them. And I would be very disrespectful to you guys if there was someone else in my place with the person that I know, you know what I'm saying, talking in reference to me or about me or whatever the situation. This does not work. So to have Drake part of the situation, I personally don't think is right. I think the only reason why her uncle got Drake is because Drake is hot right now. Drake is the one selling records. He's selling out venues. He has a really big following. So of course, Drake has he's a fan of Aaliyah too. I don't know what he said he was in love with her. You in love with somebody you never met? Okay, that's good. Love is blind, I guess, and it's stupid too sometimes. I don't know. But yeah, I don't think that people saying, well, Drake doesn't need the money. He probably doesn't need the money. But that's just like Mattel saying, we will make a Barbie in your likeness, Dollface. We're not going to pay you for it, but we want to make it in your likeness. The money ain't about, I don't care about the money, because the ultimate goal was to get the doll. You see what I'm saying? I want some money. He's going to get some money. But the fact that he's on an Aaliyah record, that's what really it's about. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that he's a wrong person for wanting that. But as a person, you need to understand where your place is. And his place is not on an Aaliyah record. Period. I wouldn't tell the OMG girls to go cover an En Vogue song. I wouldn't go tell Mindless Behavior to go cover a Jackson 5 song or produce anything on there, because that's not their place. When Ashanti did I Run to You and a little bit of I Will Always Love You for Whitney, that wasn't her place. That's what y'all had to say. That's what everybody had. Ashanti, how dare she? How dare she? Now, if this was 2001, it would have been a different story, because Ashanti was still popping. But the fact that Ashanti's not popping like that anymore, everybody got something to say. When Carrie Hilson did what she did, everybody had something to say. You know, when she did I Want to Run to You, everybody had something to say. So it's because he's hot right now, everybody is okay with it. But as an artist and people who are handling people who are deceased, you have to be very careful in what you put out in regards to that artist, because whatever tracks they put on that album is going to follow her career when we're dead and gone. You know, so we have to be very careful as fans what we support. I'm not saying that the song is bad, and I'm not going to say that I'm not going to support it, because I found out that Missy and Timbaland are going to be part of the album, which is great. Timbaland said he has a whole bunch of songs, unreleased songs and unfinished songs from Aaliyah. So we're going to see exactly what we're going to get. They said about between 14 and 16 new songs. That's great. I just personally don't feel that Drake and his person, whoever, I think his name is Fody Loc, WD-40, 40 mice and some rats and shit. I don't know what I don't care. But they was like, well, they're trying to make her sound current. That's not what we want. As fans, we want what she did. You know, and we want what was already there. So what was unreleased is that if you want to put a Drake talking, rapping situation on fine. Do what you want to do. That song will be skipped. But things that Missy and Timbaland will do, and if Timbaland want to bring it kind of up to date, cool. But just don't change the essence of what it was, because that Enough Said song, you can tell the hook is just a loop. It sounds like it was an ad-lib that they just took and just kept looping. It was a piece of something. So, not saying that I don't like the song, because I have played the song out. I have the version. Shout out to the Aaliyah fans who edited Drake's part out. But I'm not a big fan of Drake's rapping in general, nor his singing. So to have him on a record of one of my favorite artists, I'm not feeling. Everybody else, cool, fine, dandy. When Michael Jackson passed away, when he did those songs with Akon and all these other people, he had approved those songs. You know, they probably wasn't going to come out, or he probably wasn't feeling them, but he still had to say so, and I want to work with this artist. Aaliyah's never met Drake a day in her life. I believe me and Drake are the same age, so we were the same age when she passed away, which was 14. So now him being 25, I'm sure that him as a person, he should know better than to try to get on something that has absolutely positively nothing to do with him. And it's okay to be a fan. I'm not faulting him for being a fan, but her uncle is dead ass wrong for calling Drake before he called Missy and Timbaland. And I don't care what the personal reasons may have been behind it. Your niece was close to these people. Your niece's career, they had a big part in her career. So for them not to be the first call, it just shows me that it's all about money at this point, unfortunately. So yeah, I mean, I don't really have nothing else really much to be said about the situation in regards to that, because it's a sad day when people who are deceased don't have a say-so in their music. They have other people controlling it. You know, when Selena died, her family released stuff that was out and was not out, you know, but I haven't heard anything from Selena since, and I'm sure she had a whole bunch of unreleased stuff, you know. So to me, it's a respect thing. People are not respecting her family, they're not respecting her as an artist, and they're not respecting her craft. And that's the thing that I don't like. And it's not just for Aaliyah. This is for any artist. Like when they released that Michael Jackson album, and then Paris Jackson tweeted she didn't tweet, but she told a friend, that's not even my daddy on those songs. They just put out that so they can get some money. You know, that's not him. So you see the lengths that people will go to in order to make money. And at this point, she just happens to be the new victim. Am I excited about new music from her? Very much so. Am I excited that Timbaland and Missy are going to be part of it? Very much so. Am I excited about Drake? Not so much. Do I respect Drake as an artist? Very much so. Do I care about him being on the album? Not so much. But my opinion is only going to go so far. So people wanted to know how I felt about the situation, and that's how it is. I'm not saying that I'm okay with it, but for someone who I've looked up to and someone who has been a very big part of my music collection and just life in general, like y'all who follow me on Instagram and Twitter know it was Aaliyah mania before she even passed away. It was wallpaper, baby. So, you know, I've always had a very sensitive spot in my heart for her, you know, and not just her, but it's Brandy. These people who as a kid, I grew up with, and then to see them progress and become adults is a great thing. You know, Aaliyah would have been the same age as Brandy at this point. So, and look at Brandy. I think Brandy's 31, 32. So, you know, it's kind of sad to kind of see the lanes that they're going to in order to make sure that they make money off of her name. And like Timbaland said, I don't think it's right to make money off the dead. I definitely think that the money that is made from this album should go to the Aaliyah Foundation or something, you know. So, yeah, and Drake's whole attitude towards the situation is kind of like, yeah, I did that. Sure did. I'm going to be on the Aaliyah album. Yeah. And, I mean, he's delusional just like the rest of them fools at Young Money. They all delusional. So, I mean, how can you expect anything less? But as a fan, no, I'm not feeling it. And, some people were talking shit, oh, y'all need to be grateful to Drake. I'm not grateful to Drake for anything because Drake did not make me buy AJ Nothing But a Number. Drake wasn't around when I brought 1 in a Million 4 times. He was not around when the Aaliyah album came out. So I'm not grateful to Drake for shit. Understand that. I will never be, because he never made me a Aaliyah fan. Maybe you, because you just hopped on the bandwagon, but not me. Understand that, and know that, and not for any other fans either. So I'm not grateful to his motherfucking ass for shit at all. Know that. And you guys have to understand that if you stand for an artist and you really like somebody, don't ever let somebody come in here and tell you should be grateful for the next motherfucker because they made somebody hot again. Or, yeah, okay. I'm going to just leave that out there because now I'm about to get heated because I don't even like him and stuff. You know, I'm just saying though. But that's my opinion about the situation. Yes, I'm going to pick up the album. I'm actually going to purchase it. I'm not going to download it. I'm not going to be like that. I'm not going to do her family like that. I'm not going to do her like that. But shout out to Missy because Missy had tweeted me after I went on the rant, my tirade about this situation. She tweeted me something really sweet. And if you follow me on Twitter, you know what I'm talking about. You know? So that's all I got to say about this situation today. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.